Welcome to the Unveiling Shadows podcast. I'm your host, Kimberly Mosby. Join me as I dive into powerful stories of resilience and strength. In each episode, I sit down with guests who have faced similar journeys of coercive control, financial manipulation, and personal invasion. Together, we uncover the shadows, share our experiences, and inspire others to reclaim their lives. Tune in, listen, and be a part of the community that stands tall against the forces that seek to control us. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Unveiling Shadows. I'm Kimberly Mosby, your host. I'm honored to be here with you, breaking through the noise, sitting with the uncomfortable, and holding space for stories that don't often get told. Today's guest is Emily. And I'll be honest, I'm walking into this conversation with curiosity, not a script. I don't have a list of credentials, a pre-written narrative to share. What I do know is that when someone says yes to sitting down in this space, they're bringing something real. And around here, that's more than enough. So we're going to let this conversation unfold naturally as it should, because sometimes the most powerful truths are the ones we don't see coming. Emily, welcome to Unveiling Shadows podcast. I'm really looking forward to where this takes us.
Yes, thank you. I feel very welcome. I appreciate it. I'm looking forward to see where this goes too.
Yeah. So can you briefly introduce yourself and share a bit about your background and how you first encountered being a targeted individual?
Sure. Okay. Well, I grew up in Wisconsin my whole life. I'm in the Milwaukee area. I was a sweet, innocent child, like nothing too horrible. A couple minor things, nothing, everyone has their trauma. But I was quiet. I was a good kid. And then I was an adult and I went to school to be a teacher. And then all of a sudden I get married, have kids, and I moved to Kenosha, Wisconsin, and which is closer to Chicago and like towards the border of Wisconsin. And I to our house, my husband and I was married at the time, no longer married. So we there's this neighbor, and that's kind of what started it all. It didn't, like, looking back, there were probably some things that could, pertain to being targeted and such, but the obvious was when I was in Kenosha and I realized that I was being eavesdropped on. Like, my neighbor, I knew it was him because he pulled up in the driveway right next to my house, his driveway.
Okay.
And so
Okay.
my phone, like, I was waiting for my coffee to brew one morning and looking out the window. So that's why I saw his car. And my cell phone was like locked and it started to become staticky. Like my phone was staticky.
Yeah.
Like I was not a tech person. I didn't know what the heck, what was going on. But my smart brain, I figured out that someone was eavesdropping on me. I don't know how, but I put the connection together. And so and then my social media was weird. Like, read things on social media. I'm like, that just happened to me. Like, why is my life being on here when I didn't even post it? Stuff that people shouldn't know was being posted. Like, just random like spam people. And I was like, what the heck? And then things kept happening. The neighbor would respond to me by, like, for example, the stupid crap. I said, oh, I wonder when recycling is. Okay. So, like, because it was every other week in Kenosha. And it wasn't even like the day of recycling, but it was like the day before, like 2 days. And he put out his recycling. I'm like, why would he put out? It's not even the day of, the garbage pickup. Yeah. Just stupid crap like that.
Yep.
And I'm like, he could have put it out, whatever, without me having to say it. But that's just the beginning of it. Like, there's no such thing as coincidences when we know.
Yep.
You know.
Yes, exactly.
And then I was a teacher. Okay. So I worked at Southport Elementary, and he showed up there. He was a janitor there. He used a different name, but it was him. And just strange things, I would say things and they would come to life. Like, for example, I was teaching kids and I would say, come on, work with me here, kids, work with me here, like, come on, pay attention to this, like, little kids. And so there's this other person. So I was at 2 schools, actually. I was at one in the morning, Forest Park Elementary, and then Southport Elementary in the afternoon. It was where the janitor was at, my neighbor. And so then at Forest Park Elementary, there was this other guy that I knew was also a gang stalker. And he would, like, be the go-between between him and I, the neighbor at the previous school, at the morning school. And so, like, when I talk about it, it's like, that was my life. Like, how was this happening?
Right.
Anyway, So he was like a behavior specialist. He probably wasn't even a behavior specialist, just whatever. Anyway, and so his name was Derek, and so he would respond to what I would say at home. So I would say things at home, and then stuff
Yeah.
would happen at work. I'm like what the hell? Like why?
Like for verbatim, actually, because
yeah, verbatim.
verbatim, they'd be like,
Yeah.
you shouldn't talk about this because people will think you're crazy. And I was like, I never said that to you. So how did you know that I said that?
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then also this one doctor, this alternative doctor that I went to was like,
Yeah.
I want to see you dressing up in your high heels again. And I was like, what the I was like, and then I stopped going to him. I'm like, this is creepy. You people are
Uh-huh.
creepy.
Yeah, well, speaking of that, I was sitting on my couch in Kenosha scrolling Facebook and watching TV. It was a smart TV, so let's put it that way, that caveat. And so I was watching TV, minding my own fucking business, and a Facebook post comes up and says, "I see London, I see pants, I see Emily's underpants." I was in my t-shirt and underwear. I shit you not. Like, what? Like, okay. Of course, I didn't take a screenshot because I was like, I didn't know what was happening then. Like, I just found out 2 months ago that there were other people like me. I thought it was fucking crazy.
Right?
My God.
You didn't find out until 2 months ago that
Yes.
so May 2025, you
And this
found out
started in, yes.
that you started doing research and found out you were TI.
Yeah. And this started in 2016. It's been 9 years.
And now once you find out you're alone, you're not alone. Once you find out you're not alone, there's a sense of relief that comes with it.
Yes. But also even more mad. Like, what the fuck? Like, being one person being crazy, okay. But like more people? Like, what the hell?
Yeah. This
I know. My God. Oh,
yeah.
any.
You were talking about the janitor guy at the
Yeah.
school that would repeat things back to you
Yeah.
verbatim
Yeah.
when you would say them in private or to the kids at the
At home,
school.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah, students participated too. Like this one stupid story. Okay, so the janitor was in the bathroom cleaning up whatever, doing his job. And so then some kid walked by and said, "Why don't you go in there? He wants you to go in there." Like he was in there previously. Like the janitor wants you to go in there, go in there. Like why? Like in the boys' room. I'm like, no, I'm not a boy. Just like stupid crap like that. And then so like I like after a while I would just say stupid crap at home and then expect to hear it the next day. I was at several different schools because I was trying to get away from it. Like I would quit my job and go to another one or get fired, whatever, because I wasn't done putting up with their stupid gang stalking shit. Like
Yeah.
it was horrible. I was at like some high end schools. I don't care. Like I'm writing a book. I posted on Facebook about them. Like I don't care. I'm done. Some people say, yeah, don't mention all the people that doxing. When they decided to do their shit, then it's their problem. Like,
Yeah.
can you imagine schools like saying okay to gang stalking? Like, hello.
Yeah. They're all part of the institution.
I
They're
just,
Rockefeller institutions where
I
people go,
know.
to brainwash their children
Yeah,
to get,
and that's why
yeah.
I'm homeschooling my daughter. Like, I can't do this anymore. That's affected her a lot, a lot.
Yeah. Good for you.
It's ridiculous. Anyway, so yeah, I would change schools. I went to the I'm gonna say it because it's on Facebook already. The Hmong American Peace Academy. I taught there for a year. It's a very like high end school. They get a lot of funding, and it's like a charter school, but it's part of Milwaukee. I don't know. Anyway, so I taught there. There's people there that should not have known my life. Like I would test things at home. I would say weird stuff at home, and it would happen at school, and it would like even I would say things, "I'm so powerful today," or whatever, and then the Wi-Fi would go, strategically go out for all the other people, but I would have Wi-Fi still. Like, is your Wi-Fi still? Yeah, my Wi-Fi still. Just stupid crap like that. Like, what the hell? My words were like they took my life literally.
Yeah.
Like even before I knew what was happening, they did. Anyhow, let's see. I have a timeline here, so I'm trying to see. Let's see. So I moved several times. I was originally in like Midtown Kenosha, and then I moved to North Side, and that's when I did actually hook up with the janitor. But anywho, so that was something. But it wasn't that. It was nothing to write home about, let me tell you. And then anyway, so then I mean, I'll air my dirty laundry. I don't care. I did my part.
Yeah.
I was
Like you
not
get to a point where you're like, I'm telling the truth, the whole
whatever.
truth,
Yeah.
nothing but the truth.
Yeah.
Yep.
And actually, a lot of it had to do with sex, like all the V2K stuff. Even that, I was like, I have that too. Even to this day, I have the weirdest dreams. It's really messed up, like specific dreams, like it. I don't know. It's just very weird.
Yeah, lucid
Like
dream.
and oh my God, so crazy. And so it's still like trying to explain this to my parents. Oh, another thing, like trying to like my parents, they don't even really believe me still. Like they sort of do, but they sort of don't, you know? It's been hell. I've lost a lot of relationships. I mean, like parents don't believe me. They want to isolate you. So then you just like, you know, they either want you to kill yourself, and that's another thing. So my husband or my ex-husband got remarried. Divorce wasn't even, you know, dry yet. And so she's a part of it too. So sweet thing, isn't she? Anyway, so she, you know, I'm so hard to explain, but she would, when I had a job at Gross Automation in Brookfield, she would say things, refer to things about my job. Like she wasn't there. How would she know about stuff that happened at my job, you know? And like specific references, like she wouldn't say the exact thing, but she would say references to my life, you know, like stuff she shouldn't have. And it's just ridiculous. I can't think of anything else. I mean, I can't think of it. There's so many things I have written down. Let me think.
Yeah, that's what you have to do is write it down because that's what I started doing. You
Yeah,
have to do it.
I'm writing my autobiography as well.
Good, because
Oh yeah,
that's how
so the
you're
last
gonna get through the trauma.
right, exactly, yeah. And so the last school I was at was in 20 COVID was fun too. That was fun. I taught through COVID. So I was at Milwaukee High School when COVID hit. And then so we were in the building, and then when COVID hit in March, we went to virtual. And so that was fun. And then at that school, I had a family member work there, and he participated as well. It's like a extended, it's my mom's cousin. There's kind of a social media connection to that too. So like there's, you know, like they would spoof like my mom's cousin's account. And so my mom's cousin, his son worked at the school that I was at. And so his name was Tom Cat. Tom, a longer last name. I won't say the last name, but anyway, so it's so messed up. So like I posted on Substack today, like fiction is so much better, like better than my actual life, you know, like you can't make this up, you know,
Yeah,
like it's so weird. Like looking back at it, like when I remember stuff, like sometimes I'll be like, oh my God, that happened. It's just like, what the hell? Anyway,
yep,
this is so weird too, Kimberly. When I found out in May, like the end of May, I felt like the last 9 years I was in a trance. And then when I found out, I like got out of it, and then it was like, what the hell? Like that wasn't me the last 9 years, you know? I felt like the fog lifted, and I just knew what is going on. I thought I was crazy, but I'm not.
correct.
And you know, I still have neighbors to this day. Neighbors. Oh, my last place I was at. Oh my God, that was like if they should be like shut down because it was like a literal brothel. Like it was horrible. Like it was just a hot mess. There's so many people that were eavesdropping on my life. It was horrible. Anywho, so yeah, neighbors. So West Dallas, Lincoln Crest Apartments. Shout them out. Um, it was horrible. Like there was like second floor neighbor, third floor neighbor. Third floor neighbor was first, and then I lived on the third floor. So like for example, my son and I would have like a sleepover on Friday night, and then we would stay up late, watch movies and all that fun, you know, fun family stuff. And so one day we stayed up on the couch until like 4 o'clock in the morning, and then we're like, oh my God, we're so tired, we can't sleep. But the neighbor, the third floor neighbor, like was up till 4 o'clock. Like I saw him like go like this on the windowsill. Like he was up at the same time with us. Like he stayed up. Like why? Why? Like just stupid crap like that. And then second floor neighbor, he worked for the government. So yeah, he's cool. And like I didn't know he was part of it until after I like picked up on like he would connect through like social media and like LinkedIn and stuff and have spoof accounts, and it was great. So like him and I talked before I knew it was him. He told me about his life. That's so sweet. And let's see what else. Just my last school, Milwaukee American Science Academy, crazy town, Milwaukee, the north side of Milwaukee. Um, I was a technology teacher there, so I taught all like it was a K through 8 school, so I taught pretty much all of them except kindergarten. And so like they would come in the middle school schedule, and so I would have like I didn't have all the grades in one, and so they would come in, and like it was an African American like full blown, like there was mostly African American kids, and so they would say like the N word, they would say suck my dick like out loud, just stuff like that, just horrible shit. And like and then they would pretend to have like fights and stuff, and you know, and I would be like, because I was the computer teacher. So I'm like, fine, go ahead. Your computers, you can break them. I don't care. So I had to sit there and watch, and then they would stop because they're like, oh, we can't get a while on it for, okay. Like seriously, like they just were like, it was like street performance in the classroom. And then teachers would participate. Oh, I also tested this at home too. So I would say something at my house and then go to school and it would happen. So my daughter passed away 17 years ago. She had a fatal birth defect. So hence my tattoos. They're all for her and my other kids. So Katie is her name. And so when she died, we had some pictures taken of her, a lot actually. And she actually lived for 2 days. So she was a strong little gal. And actually, I owe a lot of my strength to her and my kids. So butterflies would show up a lot. Butterflies are a big reminder, and like Warner, like she's just amazing. Anyway, so there's definitely an afterlife. There's something. I'm not a God believer anymore. There's something after. That's what I believe in myself and my kids. And so then at the school, at home that one night, I don't even know what night it was, but I said, so I like when my daughter would passed away, I have like pictures of her. And so I have a couple scrapbooks and photo albums. And so I would like when her anniversary would come around, it was like Thanksgiving is when she passed away. Like the end of November. And so I would look through her, her photo album and like get sad and cry and stuff and that kind of thing. And so I had asked all of my friendly gang stalkers too. I didn't know the term at the time, but now I know. And so my friendly gang stalker, I would say, so if you all all the teachers at the school can name or can say one fact about my life, I can't like, oh, you guys will stop eavesdropping or start, I can't, something like that, something stupid. And so at the end of the day, other people might have done something, but it was probably a crazy day. But at the end of the day, 2 female teachers came into my classroom. Oh, no students were around. It was 2 female teachers. And they had a scrapbook in their hands and they were perusing it. And I don't know what they were saying, but they're saying something like, "Oh, it's so cute, so pretty. We miss blah blah blah." Like stuff that I would say. When I was looking through just like, why the fuck would they come in my classroom at the end of the day? The day after I asked them, and these are just the obvious ones I'm telling you. There's several other ones. It's just, these are the more obvious. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's how it works. It's designed that way. They want you to think that you're
Crazy.
or they want to actually break you down enough
Right. Exactly. Yep. So
to
I can kill myself.
institutionalize you.
Yeah. Uh-huh. I never went, like, seriously, like in the beginning when I first found out, this is another crazy thing. Okay. So like when I was in Kenosha still, when I like had like barely any of the horrible gang stalking stuff happened. But in my head, it wasn't me. And I felt someone telling me to kill myself. I had a knife to my wrist. And then I would look like, what the hell? Like, what is happening? It was so
Yeah.
messed up. I'm like, what am I doing? It was just so weird. And I didn't know any of this was possible. Like, and now I know about all the V2Ks. I'm like, what the hell? I thought it was crazy. I thought I
Right?
should have been institutionalized, like what is happening? I can't comprehend, like, and now, hindsight's 2020, more like 40/20 now. Like, what the hell? I don't know.
So I read your profile and your form that you submitted to be on the podcast, and it said something about you listening to a radio show. You want
Oh
to
yeah.
talk about that?
Yeah, that's a fun one. I forgot about that one. So many like all of my life has been affected. Like I can't even listen to the radio without DJs knowing my life. Okay. So back in the day in Kenosha, apparently I was known as Lily in Kenosha. I don't know why, but I was. Okay. So and at Forest Park, this neighbor kid that my son played, but oh god. Anyway, I won't mention her because I don't want to get kids involved. But she and her friends would name me Lily. I don't know why. So I was Lily in Kenosha. And so they would use Lily on the radio as like the code name for me when they would talk about me. So that would come up. And also they had like, how on Craigslist they have a misconnection section in each city or town or whatever. So like if you happen to peruse Craigslist and say, oh, I want to meet up with this person. So they would read some of these off of Craigslist. And they did that because I had some from the old neighbor in Kenosha. I had 3 spoof emails from Dr. Oz. Dr. Oz's email. I feel so honored. Anyway, And so, but I clicked on the link, stupid me, but they did take me to Craigslist, and the first two were just like lame, whatever. But the like just lame, like flirt with me again, like because I flirted with him. Okay, and then the third one was a love poem, and it was pretty damn sure it was about him and me. So, and then it was because he deleted it, and so that happened. Anyway, so the radio station they had the misconnection, and so the DJs would be able to hear. They heard my life too, or wherever it was being broadcast. They got to hear my life, and so the DJs would reference my life when I would have my phone in the car with me. And they were referencing my life at some point in 2019, I think it was. And so the story wasn't funny at all. Let's preface with that. The story was not funny. Okay. And so they were in the middle of telling their story about me, some stupid reference. And I said, fuck off to them in my car. And they stopped telling their story and they laughed because they heard me say fuck off. Like, because I knew that they knew that they were talking about, you know? Like, you can't make this stuff up. Like, why? You know?
And it takes a minute to wrap your head around it because
Yeah.
you wouldn't be doing any of this stuff to these
No.
people, but they do
No,
do
I
it.
know.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's horrible. And like I was diagnosed with PTSD. And when you ask on your form, will you be able to tell your story without breaking down? I'm like, yeah. That's why I'm writing about it right now. So like I'm calm. I'm way past the trigger reactions. I still get mad, but it's not like the horrible one, And I definitely had my moments. I don't know how my kids turn out so well. Let's put it that way. Like to have me go through all the shit that I went through and they still turned out okay. I mean, they're younger, like 12 and 14, but still,
Yeah.
they're just, I'm honored to have my kids. If I didn't have my kids, I would be a different person. Yeah. Anywho, they're the ones that are keeping me, here and
Yes.
not murdering all the assholes that did it to me,
Yeah, because you go through that phase. It's like any other
Yeah.
there's anger in there.
Yeah. 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 I'm calm. Like I'm flabbergasted. Like I can't believe I survived. Like how can someone survive all this mental torture? And the weird part is in the beginning I was saying like facetiously, I said something about like they just want to decrease the surplus population, like referencing like the Christmas Carol, but that's what they do want to do. Like I can't even tell. I was being silly and stupid, but that's what they want to do. Like all the things I said came true. I had this dream, like before COVID happened, I had a dream about COVID. It was so weird. It was the weirdest stuff. It was weird.
Yep, you were getting the message.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Did they force the Fauci juice on you at the school?
Well, no, shockingly they didn't. So we had to wear masks and you had to get like our temperature checked and stuff before we could go. And if we had any symptoms, we, couldn't go to school. But no, I refused. I still refused. My daughter, her autism is vaccine injuries. So she has not gotten vaccinated since she was 3. So she stopped talking when she was 1 because right after the MMR vaccine, she had a horrible reaction to the Hep B vaccine at birth. The nurse blamed me. Like, what the fuck? She wasn't even in my care. Like, please, like, what the hell?
Right.
So then my daughter went to the NICU because the first vaccine wasn't on her records because the nurse stopped because of the reaction. It wasn't on her record. So then she got another dose of the Hep B vaccine at 12 hours old. 12 hours old. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, it was just so many things. So the radio, so along with the fuck off story, they trying to think. One time in Kenosha, this is a funny one. So it was like right way in the beginning. I was listening to the radio and I had my phone with me, and there was a car that drove by me. I don't know who it was. Some 2 guys in a car, and so like my radio station started getting staticky. And so then when the car went, I don't know what made me do it, but I said, "Suck it, bitch." And I know for a fact that the people in my car heard it because they laughed when they heard it through the radio. They heard what I said through the radio, through their radio in their car. Like our windows were up, they couldn't hear me, like because the cell phone radio connection, the radio waves and all that crap, like must have been on the same wavelength. So it's just stupid crap like that. And then I would listen to songs in the car and the lyrics would pop up And the neighbor asshole, janitor asshole, same guy in Kenosha. He drove by me with his best friend in the car. Remember the song from what's that group called? The Waterfall song? Or No Scrubs, No Scrubs by what are they? You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, so when that song came on, that like they drove by when I was singing that lyric, like the best friend's car thing, you know. So that's just another stupid thing, you know.
Yep. Don't go chasing waterfalls is the song.
Yes, that one. Anyway, so that's just stupid crap like that. I'm trying to think what else. Oh, and then I started a business, okay, a website design business. This was in 2023. I quit teaching. I was like, whatever. And so I got into computer programming a little bit because I also went to this boot camp. Oh my God, so many things. So in 2019, after I was a teacher, I went to a boot camp thinking I could get into the tech field. But I never graduated because they were messing with me there too. They were, gang stalked me there. It was horrible. And then it was like a couple years later after teaching, I'm going to start my own, website business and hire just women because I thought it would be, because it's hard to get into the tech field as a woman. So I started my business. I went to this other business development program to help me with the business, and they knew my life too. They shouldn't have, but I graduated from that one, and they helped me pay for like the licensing fees for my business and all that stuff. And then but however, I got fake clients, like all these possible opportunities, and that they would just flake out and ghost me or whatever. And I knew that. I was hoping like that I could just keep trying, and I got a couple clients, but like they didn't pay much. Anyway, it didn't work out. And so I had to close my business. But it was a website design one, and so like AI is kind of taken over anyway. So like anyone can make a website, if you just plug in a. But my dream is to start a business for either like tutoring business or also a center for non-speakers, because my daughter is basically a non-speaker, and so she uses spelling to communicate. So that's my dream, is to start that. So yeah, I don't want to say too much because I don't want to jinx it. But anywho,
It's out of love, so I don't think it could be jinxed because I didn't think that I would be here 5 years ago where I'm sitting today, but I wasn't going to sit back and let them take away from me. I was going to tell on them. I'm like,
Right.
no, I'm not the only one this is happening to. There's
No,
people.
right, exactly, yeah. I'm trying to think what else. So fake clients, business.
Talk about the church thing that you put in
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, I forgot about that too. Like so many aspects of my life, like how could someone survive all the crap? And then they did. Like I'm strong as fuck. That's why. Anyway, so at church, it was in Kenosha, Great Lakes Church. So the woman that I confided in way back in the beginning, I didn't know what the fuck was going on. So her husband worked for the DOD, the Department of Defense. So her husband worked at the Department of Defense. And she's like, oh my God, what's happening to you? I feel so bad. Like she didn't know. What the fuck? Like, come on. God, I'm looking back. I just want to be like, what the hell? Like, why don't you say something? And so she went to the church. My husband and I went to the church. We were like founding members. They started in like a little, like barely anything. So we were like founding members, and they still treated me like shit. Like, what the hell? So people knew my life there that shouldn't, like stuff that I didn't put on Facebook. And I would be walking into church and I would say something, and then the first person I saw would reference what I just said. Like no one would hear it, but I would be walking into church with my kid, and when I got in there, the pastor would reference what I said. Like I remember, for instance, I would just say stupid shit to see if they would repeat it. Like we had been going there for 5 years now, or back when this happened, and I said, I wonder if they know my name. Like, do you think they know my name still? Like, I wonder if they know my name. And the pastor would say, hi, Emily, I know your name. Like just crap like that, like what the hell? And then I had this boyfriend, Kevin. He was in the army. So he knew about it too. He was like, yeah, there's this entity that is, doing it to you. Like I confided in him. He's like, yeah, it's an entity. I'm like, oh, okay. Because he said he thought he was what too. You think like he would have said what? But like I didn't know that a targeted individual. Like anyway, so Kevin, I brought him to church, and when I broke up with Kevin, people at the church would like high five me, but I never told anyone. they knew that I broke up with him without me having to tell them, like, high five, we broke up. It's all, and like in 2016, my husband, ex-husband now, moved out. So my ex moved out, that's when all the shit hit the fan and all the stuff started happening. Like if we would have stayed married and together, I don't know if this would have happened. It might have, but I don't know. So they used to target like single females. So
That's correct.
yeah. So when I got that boyfriend, Kevin, like when I broke up with him, pastor, trying to think what else at church. Yeah, we were there for like 4 or 5 years, and so like you think like they would respect me anyway. And then when the church moved to it was in Kenosha, and then when it moved to Racine, the main campus church, um, there was like a part of the church that they sold off to a school, and my daughter went there because it was a special autism school, Sonnenberg, and so wow, it's really staticky. You hear that static?
I can't hear it, but we've got echo cancellation on. They might be interfering. Do you know how this shit works?
I do. They mess with my stuff all the time. Anyway, the church, I don't know.
The church moving
Oh yeah,
from
yeah. So Sonnenberg is the school that my daughter went to. It was first it was an autism like therapy clinic. My daughter went to like before it was a school, and then when it turned into a school, it moved to the other part of the church. And so I think it was like right during COVID or it was like right around it. We had a big snowstorm and it was like wet snow, and like the whole roof of the church/school like caved in, and I should have felt bad, but I didn't because karma's a bitch. So like,
yeah, it is. It sure
so
is.
like, I felt bad for my daughter, but it was already COVID, and so we had to do it like the in-house therapy anyways. I was like, whatever, we're used to it. Who cares? Like, or no big deal. Everyone was virtual at that time, so it didn't matter. But I was just wonder how much that insurance cost them, how much their insurance went up. Anywho, and yeah, just so much crap. Like,
Yeah. If you could go back and give yourself one piece of advice, what would it be?
if I could still have my kids, I would say fight for my husband to not move out. He just like, that was out of the blue. I had no clue that was happening. And to not talk to the stupid ass motherfucking neighbor. That's what I'd say. I'd say flirt with his ass. That's
Yeah.
what I would say.
Do
Yeah.
not engage.
Do not engage. That's what I would say.
Okay. So for people who are just figuring it out, like you just discovered this a couple months ago, what it was that was happening to you.
Yeah.
What piece of advice would you give to them?
What piece of advice? I would tell them to, if possible, find a trusted person. I know it's hard. Therapy, yes. However, the only therapy that worked for me was hypnotherapy.
Okay.
And so, find something that works for you. But like the talk therapy, it just like if you're in the CPTSD mode, talking about it doesn't help. Like you need to get over that hump. And when it kept happening, like you're in that constant fight or flight, your cortisol levels are sky high, like you don't
Yeah.
have to be you, because like changing your phone number and moving and finding a different job, that's great and all, but they're gonna follow you, and so
And then
it's
that's
hard.
just a waste of money, and they strip your
Yeah,
assets that way, trying to
Right,
think
yeah.
that you can move to get away from it, but it doesn't. It
Yeah.
doesn't help.
Right. I'm unemployed currently. My daughter gets SSI and I get food stamps. I'm trying to look for jobs, but I know what's going to happen. So like, I'm trying to look for remote jobs, and I even thought my last job was for a nonprofit. I thought, oh, this won't be affected. I'll be fine. The boss was like, she treated me like a kid. And then of course, because I was a job coach for the adults the adults that had disabilities, I would go to their job and be a job coach for them. Assholes would come into their place of work and fuck with me there. Like, nothing horrible, but just they still did it. And my boss was a bitch. She treated me like shit. And I know, so it was just like I would ask them and they wouldn't even respond. Like they were told that it was me, don't. Anywho, so yeah.
I do know all too well what it feels like. It is more like being a tortured individual.
Yeah. Yep, I'd agree.
So I would give listeners the piece of advice of if you're just figuring out that this is happening to you, you need to educate yourself.
Oh, yes, I forgot about that. Yes, I would agree. That's what helped me a lot. Yes. Yeah, I totally forgot about that. Like I looked up, You know, the weird thing is it's so messed up. The reason I found out about the targeted individual status, I was scrolling on Pinterest and liking and interacting with narcissistic, like, abuse, like, quotes and stuff, and just stalking quotes. And so then all of a sudden, targeted individual something like targeted justice popped up. I'm like, what? So then I click it. I'm like, oh, holy shit. Like, Pinterest is the one that like, Pinterest.
Right?
I find out from Pinterest. Like, what the hell? Like, how is that? I can't comprehend. That's how I find out. So yes, if oh my God, like, if someone is listening to this right now, please do your research. Look up targetedjustice.com. I know you're part of that too, Kimberly. And gangstalkingmindcults.com. That's a good one. Have you looked at that one? Oh my God.
Or
Yeah.
Eric calls
Eric.
from the website.
Yes,
Yeah. So Eric Kallstrom, I wanted to get him on the summit, but he hasn't agreed to come on for the Radical Truth Summit because he would be a
Oh
really,
my God,
really
he's
good one.
amazing. God, all that stuff and singing the songs, like, ironically.
Mhm.
God, I'm like so amazed. Like, I'm so like that. I think besides Targeted Justice, he was the first website that I found. So yeah, and then I
Yep,
found you. Oh,
perfect. Yeah, he has a plethora of knowledge, so I hope he
yes, he
considers
does.
coming on so it doesn't go, to the wayside and people
Right.
hear the knowledge that he has.
Yep,
So,
definitely.
yeah. Well, I know. It's just I'm always inundated with the cats. It just,
That's
it's part
yeah.
of my
I'm
life.
shocked. I'm shocked. My dog isn't barking right now.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Emily, thank you for having the
yeah.
courage to share your story. And it was nice
Thank
having
you.
you here.
Thank you, Kimberly.
Thank you for listening to the Unveiling Shadows podcast. I hope today's episode has shed light on the experiences that too often remain hidden. If you or someone you know has a story to share, please reach out to me. Remember, you're not alone and your voice matters. Follow me on social media and subscribe to the podcast for more inspiring stories. Until next time, stay strong and keep unveiling the shadows.